The flies arrived before the researchers did, and when the team finally pushed through the dense undergrowth and broke into that small clearing, every single one of them stopped walking at the same moment. Not because of a command, not because of a signal, but because what lay on the forest floor in front of them was so unexpected, so fundamentally impossible according to everything they believed about the natural world, that their bodies simply refused to move forward. On the ground lay 200 kilograms of what had once been the most physically dominant primate on the planet, a silverback gorilla, muscles that could flip a car, hands that could crush a human skull without effort, a neck as thick and solid as the trunk of a young tree, and across that neck, 2 precise, clean, surgical puncture wounds, no prolonged struggle, no extended fight. Just a king of the jungle, lying still, with the unmistakable signature of a single predator written into his flesh. Welcome to Apex Truth. What you are about to discover is one of the most uncomfortable, most fascinating, and most scientifically documented truths in all of wildlife biology. A truth that researchers resisted for decades, proven not by theory or speculation, but by crime scenes. Real crime scenes, spread across an entire continent. Today we open the files. But first, we need to understand the 2 animals at the center of this story. A fully mature silverback gorilla weighs up to 220 kilograms of dense, explosive, fast-twitch muscle. Its bite force measures approximately 1,300 pounds per square inch, enough to snap a human forearm like a dry twig. When a silverback beats his chest, the sound travels for miles. It is not just a display. It is a declaration: I am the most powerful thing in this environment, and everything here knows it. For generations, science agreed completely. The accepted wisdom was absolute: adult gorillas have no natural predators. What animal in its right mind would attack something capable of dismembering it with bare hands? The answer was one animal: the African leopard. On paper, the matchup seems absurd. The leopard weighs between 60 and 90 kilograms, less than half the mass of a silverback. In a direct, face-to-face confrontation with a fully alert and enraged silverback, the leopard almost certainly loses. But here is the thing that makes the leopard one of the most remarkable predators alive. It never fights fair. Not because it is cowardly, but because fairness does not exist in the vocabulary of an animal that survives by being patient, precise, and invisible. The leopard hauls carcasses twice its body weight up into trees, defying gravity. Its jaws are engineered to deliver a single killing bite to the base of the skull, not to wound, not to begin a struggle, but to instantly sever the connection between brain and body, and end the encounter before it has properly begun. And then there is the thing that changes everything: vision. In complete darkness, the leopard sees the world in extraordinary detail, roughly 6 times better than human vision, and considerably better than gorilla vision. In the dark, the leopard operates in high definition. In the dark, the gorilla is functionally blind, and gorillas sleep at night. Now we open the files. Case number 1. The Virunga Mountains, 1960s. The legendary biologist George Schaller is documenting mountain gorillas on the border between Congo and Rwanda when he finds a crime scene. The remains of a mountain gorilla, no disease, no age-related decline, death coming violently from outside. 2 puncture wounds at the back of the neck, precisely placed where the leopard's canines had met the spinal column. Researcher Walter Baumgartel finds another body in the same region shortly after: perforated vertebrae, partially consumed flesh. 2 cases, same method, same killer. Science begins to reconsider everything. Case number 2. Gabon, 2000s. Primatologists monitoring Western gorillas begin finding adult gorilla remains partially consumed, evidence pointing clearly to leopard predation. But it is not the dead that disturb the researchers most. It is the behavior of the living. When a leopard enters the gorilla's field of awareness, these 2 0-kilogram animals that charge human researchers without hesitation, do not challenge the threat. They scatter. They flee. They display every measurable indicator of something that can only be described as terror. Case number 3. The Central African Republic. Different ecosystem, different gorilla population, different research team, but the same pattern. Bodies found with deep perforations at the back of the neck. the same surgical signature, appearing now thousands of kilometers from Virunga. There are no lions in this region, only leopards. What appeared to be an isolated anomaly was now revealing itself to be something far more significant. A strategy, a hunting culture. Leopards, in completely separate ecosystems, with no contact with each other, had arrived independently at the same conclusion. The gorilla is huntable, the gorilla is edible, and the gorilla can be taken if the approach is correct. Case number 4. The Congo Basin, 2005. Dr. Philip Henshaw and his team conduct a forensic sweep of the region, analyzing feces, examining carcasses, applying rigorous scientific methodology. The results are staggering. During the study period, leopards had consumed 4 gorillas. One of them was a silverback. And before skeptics could suggest the leopards had simply scavenged already dead animals, the forensic evidence destroyed that argument completely. Active predation. Active hunting. And the frequency was not decreasing. The leopards were learning. They were refining the strategy. They were treating the gorilla not as an impossible target, but as a reliable food source when the opportunity aligned correctly. Now, everything we have examined so far shares one element: darkness, night, the leopard's domain. But here is where the story takes its most extraordinary turn. Case number 5. Lope National Park, Gabon, 1988. 5 o'clock in the afternoon. The sun still above the horizon. The forest fully lit. No darkness to hide in, no night to exploit. And then the forest explodes. Researchers hear the sound before they see anything. Guttural roars, snapping branches, impacts shaking the undergrowth. They rush toward it. What they find looks less like a wildlife encounter and more like a battlefield. Vegetation flattened, tree trunks bearing fresh claw marks, blood on the forest floor. But the detail that nobody expected comes from the forensic reconstruction of the event. The gorilla had risen to a full bipedal posture. It had not simply fled or defended from a crouch. It had stood up, faced the leopard directly, and picked up a weapon, a thick broken branch with blood on its tip, used as a club. This is not instinct. This is intelligence operating under extreme threat. But the final tracks told the conclusion. The leopard's footprints were superimposed over the gorilla's. Even after that level of resistance, even potentially wounded, the leopard did not retreat. It continued the pursuit. Case number 6. George Schaller, again the researcher who opened this file, closes it. This time he finds not one body, but 2. Side by side on the forest floor, a massive adult male leopard and an adult male gorilla, both dead. Both had fought to absolute exhaustion and beyond. The gorilla bore the leopard's puncture wounds and lacerations. The leopard bore broken bones from the defensive blows of a silverback's enormous strength. Neither had retreated. Neither had submitted. They had fought until there was nothing left, and they had died together in the same patch of forest. No winner, no survivor, mutual annihilation. Now let us be precise about what this does and does not mean. The leopard does not seek gorillas as primary prey. In most cases, it targets the young, the isolated, the sleeping. In a direct face-to-face confrontation between a fully alert silverback and a leopard, the silverback wins. The physics favor the larger, stronger animal. But the leopard does not operate in the world of direct confrontations. It operates in the space between what the gorilla can defend against and what it cannot see coming. And in that space, the evidence is now undeniable. There is one final distinction that explains everything. The gorilla fights to protect. Its aggression is defensive. It erupts when the group is threatened, when survival demands it. The leopard fights to kill. Every approach, every ambush, every calculated move is oriented around one single outcome. That difference in intention changes the dynamics of every confrontation in ways that no amount of raw strength can fully compensate for. The silverback gorilla is not weak. It is not fragile. But it is not invincible. 6 documented cases, spread across an entire continent, confirmed by some of the most respected field researchers in wildlife biology, have proven that, beyond any reasonable doubt. The jungle has no kings that cannot fall. It only has animals that have not yet met the right predator at the right moment in the right darkness. This has been Apex Truth. If this gave you something to think about, leave a like, subscribe to Apex Truth, and share this with someone who thinks they know everything about wildlife. We will see you on the next one.